Knitting needle or knitting pin is a tool in hand knitting to produce knitted fabrics. They generally have a long shaft and taper at their end, but they are not nearly as sharp as sewing needles. Yarn, spun thread used for knitting, weaving, or sewing. Stitch markers are little round items usually made of plastic or metal that can be slipped onto a knitting needle to mark a certain place in a row. Yarn guide are the one of the helping instrument to control the yarn path. Stitch holders, also known as stitch markers, are tools that are used in knitting and crocheting to hold open stitches when not being used by the needles. Knitting cups. Before you take a knitting break, place these adorable little cups on the end of your needle to ensure no stitches slip off while your project is in your knitting bag.
This is a yarn threader. A yarn threader is a craft accessory that, at its most basic, works in the same principles as a needle threader to assist in pulling yarn through the eye of the needle.
Scissors, used to cut paper, cardboard, metal foil, linen, rope, and specially yarn, among other thin materials. Scissors and shears come in a wide range of styles and functions. Crochet hook, a tool for making loops in thread or yarn and interlocking them into crochet stitches. It consists of a round shaft with a lateral groove on one end and a pointed end on the other. It comes with different sizes. Measuring tapes, generally used for body measurements or to measure the length and width of a project as you establish the gauge needed by the pattern.
Yarn bobbins, used to make pulling the yarn easier, or you can use them to store scrap yarn. Row counter, used to keep track of exactly how many rows you have knit, and a row counter helps you keep an accurate count. Tapestry needle. A tapestry needle is a large sewing needle with an eye, big enough to accommodate bulk yarn. Use the needle to weave in the tails of yarn left after you bind off your project.